Have you ever felt that moment when you finally decide to prioritize yourself, to reclaim your self-worth? It's a powerful realization, isn't it? The moment you say, enough is enough, and you shift your focus inward, everything changes. Suddenly, the people who once overlooked you, who took your presence for granted, start to notice you in a way they never did before. It's as if a light bulb flickers on in their minds, illuminating the shadows of regret and longing. They didn't see it coming, but now they can't imagine life without you. This isn't just some random twist of fate, it's the consequence of reclaiming your power. When you step back and let them feel the void your absence creates, you force them to confront the reality of what they've lost. They're left grappling with the haunting realization that they took you for granted, and now they can't stand the thought of losing you. It's a painful awakening, but one that can lead to profound change. As the saying goes, don't chase. Let them realize they need you, not the other way around. And it doesn't stop there. As you continue to focus on your own growth, you become even more magnetic, even more desirable. It's like you hit the home button on their hearts, and they start to crave your attention, longing for a connection they didn't value when they had it. So, if you're ready to harness this power, to make them realize just how much they need you, let's dive into the undeniable truths that reveal why they only want you when you no longer want them. Let's start with the first truth, the power of absence. You might be thinking, really? Just being absent can make someone want me more? Yes, indeed. When you're always around, texting, calling, showing up, they start to take you for granted. It's like having Wi-Fi. You only notice it when it's gone. Your constant presence becomes something they assume will always be there, like that extra slice of pizza in the fridge. Until suddenly, it's not. That's when things get interesting. Imagine this. You're always available, always there when they need a shoulder to lean on or someone to hang out with. They know you'll answer the phone at 2 a.m. if they call, and you'll drop everything to spend time with them. But then, one day, you decide to step back. You focus on your own life, your own growth, and you stop being so available. Suddenly, that guaranteed attention is gone, and they're left wondering, what happened? This is where the power of absence kicks in. Your absence creates a void, a gap in their life where you used to be. And here's the thing about voids. They don't like to be empty. They crave to be filled. Your absence forces them to confront the space you once occupied in their life, and they start to realize just how much they miss your presence. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely put it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. When you're constantly there, they think they know everything about you, your availability, your value. But when you step back, they're forced to reevaluate. They realize they didn't appreciate you as much as they should have, and that's when they start to want you even more. Let's add a dash of humor here. It's like when your favorite TV show ends on a cliffhanger and you're left hanging, desperate to know what happens next. Your absence is that cliffhanger in their life. They're left thinking, wait, did I miss the finale? What's going to happen now? But here's the real kicker. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder. It makes the mind race. They start imagining all the things you might be doing without them, all the fun you're having, all the new people you're meeting. Suddenly, they're no longer the star of your show, and that's when they start wanting to be part of the story again. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding your own worth. It's about recognizing that you are valuable, and that value doesn't diminish just because someone doesn't see it right away. As the great Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By stepping back and focusing on yourself, you're not just showing them what they're missing. You're showing yourself what you deserve. So, embrace the power of absence. It's a tool, a strategy, but more importantly, it's a reflection of your self-respect. When you step back, you're giving them the chance to realize just how much you mean to them. And if they don't realize it, well, that's their loss, not yours. Keep growing, keep focusing on yourself, and remember that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply be less available. This journey isn't just about making them want you, it's about making sure you want yourself even more. So go ahead, embrace your worth, and let your absence speak louder than words. Because when you value yourself, the right people will start to value you too. Now, you might be wondering, why do they only realize your value when you no longer want them? The answer lies in the psychological and emotional dynamic of human behavior. When you're always available, always giving, people can easily fall into the trap of taking you for granted. They become accustomed to your presence, your attention, and your care. It's human nature to undervalue what is readily available. But the moment you decide to withdraw, to reclaim your energy and focus it inward, everything changes. This shift in dynamics forces them to confront the reality of your absence. Suddenly, what was once taken for granted becomes painfully noticeable. They start to realize the depth of what they're losing: a dependable presence, a source of support, and perhaps even a source of love. Moreover, by focusing on your growth, you naturally become more magnetic. Your self-confidence grows, your energy changes, and you start attracting more positivity into your life. This only intensifies their regret, because they now see a version of you that is even more desirable, yet more distant. In essence, they realize your value when you no longer want them, because you've taken away the comfort of your presence. You've allowed them to see what life is like without you, and in that absence, your worth becomes glaringly obvious. I really hope you're finding this discussion valuable. If so, please hit that like button. It helps us grow and reach more people. I want to hear your thoughts too. Have you faced double standards? Drop a comment. I love reading your insights. And don't forget to subscribe for more. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes stepping back is the most potent way to make someone realize they can't afford to lose you. This isn't about playing games, it's about understanding human nature and using it to reclaim your own power and worth. Think about it for a moment. How often have you found yourself in a situation where you were the one doing all the chasing, the one making all the plans, the one who was always available? It's exhausting, isn't it? You pour your heart into someone, and yet they seem to take it for granted, as if your affection is a given, a constant in their lives. But what if you decided to change that narrative? What if you decided that enough was enough? Imagine the moment you realize that your worth isn't tied to someone else's attention or affection. It's like a light bulb flicking on in a dark room. You stop seeking validation from them, and instead, you turn that energy inward. You start to focus on yourself, your passions, your goals, your happiness. Suddenly, you're not just a supporting character in their story. You become the protagonist of your own life. And that shift? It's monumental. When you pull back, when you stop being the one who always reaches out, something incredible happens. The dynamics of the relationship begin to shift. You go from being the one who is always available to someone who is a little harder to pin down. It's like a game of chess where you've suddenly changed your strategy. You're no longer playing defense, you're playing offense. And let me tell you, that's a game changer. Now they're the ones left wondering, what happened? Where did they go? It's a wake-up call for them. They start to see you in a new light. You're no longer the one chasing after them. You've reclaimed your power, and that's incredibly intriguing. As the great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." When you stop giving away your power, you become a force to be reckoned with. Think about it. When you're always available, they know exactly where they stand with you. But when you pull back, it creates a sense of mystery. Suddenly, they're not sure if they still have your attention. That uncertainty can be downright irresistible. It's like when you were really into a TV show, but then the plot got a little boring, so you stopped watching. But then your friend tells you the latest episode had a crazy twist, and suddenly, you're hooked again, binge-watching to catch up. That's exactly what happens when you shift the dynamics in a relationship. And let's not forget the humor in this situation. It's like when your cat suddenly decides to ignore you, and now you're the one desperately trying to get its attention, sitting there with the catnip saying, "Come on, Fluffy, I'm right here." But Fluffy's off doing their own thing, and now you're the one feeling left out. That's exactly how they feel when you shift the dynamics. It's a role reversal that can be both amusing and eye-opening. But remember, this isn't about manipulation. It's about recognizing that relationships are a two-way street. If you've been doing all the heavy lifting, it's time to let go and see if they're willing to step up. If they do, great. If not, you've just made room in your life for someone who will appreciate you without needing a reminder. Embrace the shift in dynamics. It's a powerful reminder that you deserve to be valued, not just by others, but by yourself. Now let's dive into one of the most fascinating aspects of human relationships, the allure of independence. Picture this. You've been the one always reaching out, always available, always making time for them. They've grown used to it, maybe even taken it for granted. But then, something shifts. You decide to focus on yourself, your growth, your happiness, your goals. You stop waiting around for their calls, you stop rearranging your life for them, and you start living for you. Independence is incredibly attractive. It's like flipping a switch in their minds. Suddenly they see you thriving on your own, and it hits them like a ton of bricks. You're not just the person who was always there for them anymore. You're someone who's building a life, growing and shining without needing them. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." When you live in harmony with yourself, you radiate a sense of peace and confidence that is undeniably attractive. But why does independence have this effect? It's because independence signals self-worth. When you're independent, you're telling the world, "I'm valuable on my own. I don't need anyone to complete me." And trust me, people notice. They start to see what they're missing. A person who is whole, self-sufficient, and living life on their own terms. This is the essence of the allure of independence. Imagine you're at a party. There's someone there who's friendly, chatting with everyone, but not particularly standing out. Then there's someone else who's confident, comfortable in their own skin, moving through the crowd with ease, not desperate for attention, but fully enjoying themselves. Who are you more drawn to? Probably the latter, right? That's the allure of independence in action. So as you navigate through your relationships, remember this. Stepping back isn't a sign of weakness. It's a powerful act of self-love. It's about reclaiming your worth and understanding that you deserve to be valued for who you are, not just for how much you're willing to give. When you embrace your independence, you not only change the dynamics of your relationships, but you also change the game entirely. You become the person who attracts others, rather than the one who chases after them. And that, my friends, is a beautiful transformation. Independence is a powerful force, a flame that ignites within you when you decide that your own dreams and aspirations are worth chasing. It's a realization that you don't need to seek validation from others, that your worth is inherent and not contingent upon someone else's approval. When you embody this independence, you become a person of intrigue, a magnet for those who once overlooked you. They begin to notice the confidence you exude, the self-assurance that comes from knowing you are enough just as you are. You're no longer the person who waits for a text, who rearranges their life to fit someone else's schedule. Instead, you're busy crafting your own narrative, chasing your own dreams, and that is far more compelling. Now, let's clarify what independence truly means. It's not about building walls or pushing people away. It's about prioritizing yourself, your goals, your well-being. It's about understanding that while relationships can enrich your life, they should not be the foundation of your happiness. This subtle shift in mindset transforms how others perceive you. They begin to see you not as someone who is always available, but as someone who is living a full, vibrant life. You become desirable not because you're easy to reach, but because you're busy creating a life that others want to be a part of. And here's where the magic unfolds. When you focus on your independence, you attract positivity and opportunities like a magnet. You're no longer waiting for someone to validate your existence. You've already done that for yourself. This newfound energy is palpable. People start to miss you, to crave the presence that once seemed so ordinary. They begin to realize that your absence is a void, a space they didn't appreciate until it was gone. So what's the takeaway? Embrace your independence. Cultivate it. Use it as a powerful tool to enrich your life and to make others recognize what they've lost when they took you for granted. You are your own greatest asset. As you continue to grow and thrive on your own, those who once overlooked your worth will start to see it clearly, and by then, it might just be too late for them. Living independently is about loving yourself enough to understand that you don't need anyone else to validate your worth. So go out there, live your best life, and watch as others realize just how much they want to be a part of it. Stay strong, stay focused, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Your independence isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. Now, let's dive into the concept of the rarity effect. This is a game changer, a fundamental truth about human nature that explains why they only want you when you no longer want them. People are wired to desire what they can't easily have. It's like that last slice of pizza that suddenly becomes 10 times more desirable when you realize it's about to be gone. The same principle applies to relationships. When you make yourself less available, you become rare, and that rarity elevates your value in their eyes. Picture this. You've always been there, always available, always ready to drop everything for them. They grow accustomed to your presence, taking it for granted. But the moment you step back, something fascinating occurs. They start to notice the space you leave behind. They realize that your presence was not something to be taken lightly. Just like that, you've transitioned from being a common fixture in their life to something rare and precious. It's akin to how we treat everyday objects versus rare collectibles. You wouldn't think twice about losing a pen, but lose a rare, limited edition item, and suddenly you feel the sting. When you make yourself rare, you shift from being the everyday pen to that one-of-a-kind collectible that they can't stop thinking about. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." When you recognize that your time and attention are valuable commodities, you stop giving them away so freely. When you pull back and start valuing your own time, others begin to value it too. They see you not just as someone who's always there, but as someone whose presence is a privilege. Let's lighten this up with a bit of humor. Remember when you were a kid and you'd ignore your toys until someone else wanted to play with them? Suddenly, that toy became the most interesting thing in the room. Adults aren't much different. We all want what we think we might lose, and that's exactly what happens when you create a little distance. This doesn't mean playing hard to get or engaging in mind games. It's about genuinely focusing on yourself, your growth, and your happiness. When you're not always around, busy living your best life, they can't help but notice. Your absence becomes a powerful reminder of your worth, and they start craving that presence they once took for granted. So take this as a motivational push. Don't be afraid to step back and let others feel your absence. Focus on yourself and let them come to terms with how valuable your presence truly is. Remember, you are not just anyone. You are someone worth missing. And when you start treating yourself that way, others will too. Now let's talk about the contrast of confidence. Confidence is one of those qualities that is both magnetic and transformative. When you no longer want someone, something remarkable happens. You begin to radiate a new level of confidence, and believe me, they can't help but notice it. Imagine this. You were once wrapped up in someone else's world, perhaps a bit insecure, always seeking their approval. But then you make the decision to focus on yourself, to let go of the need for their validation. You stop caring so much about what they think, and instead, you start caring more about your own growth, happiness, and well-being. It's like a switch flips inside you. Suddenly, you're walking taller, smiling brighter, exuding a sense of self-assuredness that wasn't there before. This change doesn't go unnoticed. In fact, it's glaringly obvious. The person who once took you for granted now sees you in a completely different light. You're no longer the person who was always there waiting for their attention. Instead, you're someone who's thriving on your own, and that contrast creates a powerful shift in how they perceive you. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By reacting to their indifference with confidence and self-assurance, you send a clear message. You don't need them to define your worth, and trust me, that's incredibly attractive. Think of it like this. You're a caterpillar who's just turned into a butterfly, and they're standing there dumbfounded, wondering where that clumsy little bug went. They're suddenly realizing that you're not just any butterfly. You're one with vibrant wings, flying high and free, completely out of their reach. Confidence is like a beacon of light in a dark room. It draws people in, makes them curious, and leaves them wondering how they missed it before. When you stop wanting them and start focusing on your own journey, your confidence grows, and with it, their desire for you intensifies. They start to realize that the person they took for granted has evolved into someone extraordinary, someone who doesn't need them to feel complete. And here's the kicker. This confidence doesn't just attract them, it empowers you. You start to see yourself differently, too. You realize that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion or affection. You're valuable because of who you are, not because of who wants you. Have you ever felt that moment when you realize something is slipping away and it hits you like a ton of bricks? The fear of finality is a powerful force, one that can shake even the most confident among us. Picture this. You've pulled back. You've taken a step away from the constant need to be wanted, and suddenly, they're faced with the stark reality that you might not be there forever. That's when the fear sets in. It's like a dark cloud looming over them, whispering, "What if this is it? What if I've lost them for good?" This fear can be paralyzing. It's the kind of fear that makes people reflect on their actions, on the moments they took for granted. They start to replay every conversation, every laugh, every shared secret, and they realize, perhaps too late, that they didn't appreciate what they had until it was on the verge of disappearing. It's a painful awakening, one that can lead to desperation. They begin to question everything. Was I too harsh? Did I take them for granted? What if they never come back? And here's the thing. That fear of finality can be a catalyst for change. It can push them to confront their feelings, to acknowledge the depth of their emotions, and to realize that they need to act before it's too late. They might start reaching out, sending those texts they once ignored, trying to rekindle a connection they didn't value enough. It's a beautiful irony, really. The moment you decide to prioritize yourself, to embrace your own worth, you become the one with the power. But let's not forget the most crucial part of this equation. You've taken the brave step to prioritize your own needs, to step back and let them feel the weight of their choices. You're not just a fleeting thought in their mind. You've become a pivotal part of their emotional landscape. And that's where the magic happens. When you embrace your confidence, when you let go of the need for their approval, you create a space for them to realize what they've lost. As they grapple with the fear of finality, they may start to see you in a new light. You're no longer just someone they can take for granted. You're a force to be reckoned with, a person who knows their worth and isn't afraid to walk away. That realization can be a game changer. It can ignite a spark within them, a desire to change, to grow, and to fight for what they once overlooked. But here's the catch. You have to be ready to stand firm in your decision. The fear of finality can lead to desperate attempts to win you back, but it's essential to remember that you're not a consolation prize. You're not there to fill a void. You're there to be valued and cherished. So, as they navigate their fear, you must remain steadfast in your own journey of self-discovery and growth. This is where the beauty of self-approval comes into play. When you've cultivated your own confidence, you become less swayed by their actions or words. You're not waiting for them to validate your worth. You've already done that for yourself, and that's a powerful position to be in. You're not just reacting to their fear. You're actively shaping your own narrative. As they wrestle with the fear of finality, they may begin to realize that the connection they had with you was something special, something worth fighting for. They might start to make changes, to show up differently, to express their feelings in ways they never did before. And that's when you'll see the true transformation, not just in them, but in yourself as well. You'll find that as they confront their fears, you'll be standing tall, grounded in your own self-worth. You're not just waiting for them to come back. You're living your life, pursuing your passions, and embracing every moment. And that, my friends, is the ultimate power move. So, as we wrap up this exploration of the fear of finality, remember this. It's not just about them realizing what they've lost. It's about you recognizing what you've gained. You've gained clarity, strength, and a deeper understanding of your own value. You've learned that you're not just someone's backup plan. You're the main event. And in the end, that's the most liberating realization of all. You're not waiting for someone else to define your worth. You're living boldly, unapologetically, and confidently. So let that confidence shine. Let it be the beacon that guides you forward. Embrace the uncertainty, the mystery, and even the fear of finality, because in doing so, you're not just transforming your own life. You're inviting others to see the light within you. Keep growing, keep shining, and let your journey be a testament to the power of self-approval and confidence. You are worth every bit of love and respect, and it's time the world sees that too. When you finally decide to move on, there's this moment of sheer panic that sets in for them. It's like a sudden realization that, wait, this might actually be the end. And trust me, nothing makes someone want you more than the fear that they might lose you for good. Imagine this. You've stopped reaching out, stopped caring, and started living your best life. They see you thriving, and suddenly the thought creeps in. What if they can't get you back? It's a classic case of, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And in that moment, they start to panic, thinking, did I just let the best thing slip through my fingers? Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Well, their thoughts are now dyed with regret, fear, and a desperate longing to undo the finality of your departure. They'll scramble, they'll try to win you back, because the idea of you being gone forever is just too much to bear. So here's the motivation, friends. Keep focusing on you. Let them feel that fear, because it's a powerful reminder of your worth. When you choose yourself, you not only grow stronger, but you also become someone they realize they can't afford to lose. These 9 proofs show that when you reclaim your power, focus on yourself, and step back, it forces others to confront the reality of losing you. It's not just about making them want you, it's about understanding your own worth and letting them see it too, often when it's almost too late. So remember, folks, embrace your worth, cultivate your independence, and let your absence speak louder than words. You are valuable, and those who truly see your worth will rise to the occasion. Keep growing, keep shining, and live your best life. The right people will come to appreciate you for the incredible person you are. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, you deserve better. Until next time, take care and keep shining.